Hello and welcome back to another poetry review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Lana Del Rey's Violet Bent Backwards Over the Grass, and it is one of the best collections I've read in a long time, so let's get into it. So I guess let's start with the boring stuff. This is the cover. It's a really cool cover. It's got a picture of Lana Del Rey on the back. As weird as it sounds, the first thing I noticed about this collection, which I love, and hopefully fellow book lovers will totally understand what I'm saying, but it smells so good. It's really got, I don't know what kind of paper they use. It's really good paper, by the way, really good quality paper, but it just smells so good. And I realise how weird I sound saying that, but that was the first thing I noticed. So I guess if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have a very strong grievance with most poetry collections these days. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to leave a little card up here so that you can read my video on lazy poets and publishers and the way they waste resources. Now, this collection does end with a bunch of haikus. The last section of this collection is just all haikus. But you know what? This collection is so good, and maybe I'm being biased, but the collection is so good that you can forgive. I get the impression this probably wasn't Lana Del Rey's decision, more the publisher, which is Simon & Schuster, in the UK at least, who actually published some of my favourite collections, so it's good to see them turning up again. But another reason you can forgive her for doing like having a whole page for just that is because the majority of the book is filled with longer pieces. So yes, it annoys me, but it doesn't stand out quite as much in this book because you've got most of the pages being filled up with poems. So sticking with formatting, I thought it was really cool. She's done the same thing as Bella Thorne's collection, in the sense that there are some pages, as you can see this side, and I think the majority of the poems by the looks of it, but you can definitely tell with this poem, is that they seem to be scanned straight from the page she actually wrote it, because you can see like ink runs and where the page must have got wet at somewhere along the line. And I think that's a really cool touch. I like that vibe. I might borrow that. I might use that. Maybe not all the pages, because I think this one, I think there's dogs fighting. This one doesn't seem to be a scanned poem, but I like the font. You know, I like a good typewriter. My typewriter isn't in the background on this video like it is most of the time. See, again, this doesn't seem like it's scanned. So I thought that was a really nice touch, sticking to well, maybe it is, I don't know if you can see that. There's some sort of paper crease, but that's not my book, so maybe they are all scanned in. So formatting wise, again, you can see it's a nice touch. It gives it that sort of vintage feel, used feel, straight from the typewriter, you know, which it literally is, I guess. Actually, maybe they all are like that. Anyway, sticking to formatting, you can see that a lot of poems are accompanied by pictures. I'm getting a lot of WhatsApp messages. Hey Bruno. There are also a lot of photos accompanying the poems, and ringtone. It would appear, I'll be honest, I didn't give the photos too much consideration, because I'm here for the poetry. But it would seem that the photos accompany the poems, which I think is a nice touch. I get the feeling that this was inspired by Insta poetry. It does kind of feel like when I'm reading this collection that I'm reading a collection of Insta poetry. I will forgive her for that. So I don't know if that was a conscious thing. I know that the whole Insta poetry thing is really kind of driving poetry sales at the minute. But I think it's a nice touch. I think it's a really nice touch, and it works. So I'd be interested to know if that has come directly from Insta poetry and Instagram, because it feels like I'm holding Instagram in my hands, if that makes any sense. Probably not. Shut up, Adam. I'm just trying to get through... Ah, perfect, exactly what I wanted. I'm just trying to get through the boring stuff, like the formatting. I thought this was another nice touch as well. So this has obviously been scanned. You can see that there's some of her handwriting here. And then on the other page is the same poem, but cleaned up. I should have done this before hitting record. I'm wondering if... I should have done this before the review, but I'm wondering if this is an edit, if this is the first draft and this is an edit. I saw that they were the same poem, so I just read the cleaner version, because I wanted to get this video out because I'm a day late. So it'd be interesting to know if this is the first draft and this is an edit, or if this is the exact same poem, but this is the cleaner version. Either way, I think that's a really cool thing to do. I like that. So in terms of formatting, I think that's everything I wanted to discuss. I really like the way this collection is presented. Like, this is my favourite collection in a long, long time. I think it's really well done. Because the poetry is so good, which is the main thing, right? But even the publishers and the design of the collection is really nice. So I'm going to quickly read the opening poem, because that's how I wanted to start the video, but I'm a bit flustered, and it's been a long morning, but it's been a very quick morning. I'm chasing time as always. So I'm going to read the opening poem, which is the title of the actual collection. Violet bent over back. I keep saying bent over. Violet bent backwards over the grass. I always stumble over the title. I don't know why. Maybe that would be a little criticism, but not really, because it's cool. Violet bent backwards over the grass. I went to a party. I came in hot. Made decisions beforehand. My mind made up things that would make me happy to do them or not. Each option weighed quietly, a plan for each thought. But then I walked through the door, past the open concept, and saw Violet bent backwards over the grass, 7 years old with dandelions grasped tightly in her hands, arched like a bridge in a fallen handstand, grinning wildly like a madman, with the exuberance that only doing nothing can bring, waiting for the fireworks to begin. And in that moment, I decided to do nothing about everything. Forever. So that's the opening piece. Again, the title of the actual collection. Okay, so yeah, moving on to the poetry itself. I love it. This collection has so much soul, like so much heart. It kind of just whacks you in the face. Every poem kind of just hits you, which is exactly what you want as a poet and as a reader. It's quite a melancholic collection. At least that's what I get from it, reading it. There's a lot of longing. I feel like a lot of longing in this book, which I can totally relate to, and I think a lot of people can, which is a good thing. Again, relatability. Yeah, I actually got this yesterday and I read it from cover to cover. I think Lana Del Rey is an amazing poet. I don't actually listen to a lot of her songs, so I don't know what her lyrics and songwriting's like. She's obviously very big, so she's obviously very good. But you know, a lot of collections have come out nowadays from people who are jumping on the poetry bandwagon, who I've spoken about in previous videos. But this is like a very high standard. I think, aside from the haikus that are at the back, I think all of these poems, if I can remember rightly, all of these poems are free verse, but she obviously uses meter very well, rhyming schemes, alliteration, assonance, it's all in here. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's not like, and I guess she gets that from songwriting, right? But it's not like some of these people that work in different fields and are probably pushed by their publisher, or for whatever reason knows that Insta poetry and poetry is on the rise and decided, hey, I'm gonna just dive in and do that, which results in no heart or soul. One name comes to mind just because I've reviewed one of her books on this channel. You probably know who I'm talking about. If not, check out my poetry review playlist. I did kind of get, just riffing off of that, I did get a similar feel from this to Bella Thorne's collection, whether that's just because they both scanned their poetry and put it in a book. And I think, yeah, but I do prefer this just because of the craft of it, and I mean, it's just as raw and real as Bella Thorne's, but there's just so much craft in this one. Let me just see what other pages I have. Never to Heaven, I think I'm going to read that. I got quite a few. I'm not too sure why I've cornered this page, and I hated cornering the pages, by the way, because the page quality, the paper quality is so good. It hurt every time I did it, but I don't have any sticky notes or anything like that. I'm not entirely sure why I've folded this down. I think it was just to show like how much text is in this. Oh, it's because it's one of my favourite poems. That's why. Sport Cruiser. It's probably my favourite poem in this, but it's too long for me to read out in this video. So I would wholeheartedly recommend getting this collection, and if you do, or when you do, because you should, give Sport Cruiser a read, because it's very good. It's just too long for this video. Okay, so I've got two other poems that I want to read. This one is called Happy. You thought I was Let's start again, my friends. Okay. You thought I was rich, and I am, but not how you think. I live in a Tudor house under the freeway in Mar Vista by the beach. When you call, I take my phone outside to the picnic table that I bought from the Rose Bowl. Adam, man. Wake up. 10:15 now. You should be awake. Let me start again. You thought I was rich, and I am, but not how you think. I live in a Tudor house under the freeway in Mar Vista by the beach. When you call, I take my phone outside to the picnic table that I bought from Rose Bowl, and I listen to the rushing cars above, and think about the last time you visited me, the last time we made love. How the noise got louder and louder during rush hour, until it sounded like the sea, and it felt like the ocean was in the sky. And it felt like the ocean was the sky, sorry. And that I was flying because you were 2 feet taller than me, until you took me in your arms, and I could touch the stars, and they all fell down around my head, and I became an angel, and you put me to bed. Happy. People think I'm rich, and I am, but not how they think. I have a truck with a gold keychain in the ignition, and on the back it says happy, joyous, and free. Happy. And when I drive, I think about the last time my friends were driving with me, how the radio was so loud that we couldn't hear the words, so we became the music. Happy. They write that I'm rich, and I am, but not how they think. I have a safe I call the boyfriend box, and in it every saved receipt, every movie theatre ticket, just to remind me of all the things I've loved and lost and loved again unconditionally. You joke that I'm rich, and I am, but not how you think. I live in a Tudor house under the freeway, off of Rose Avenue, 12 blocks from the beach. And when you call, I put your sweater on, and put you on speaker, and chat for hours underneath the trees, and think about the last time you were here lying next to me, how the noise from the cars got louder and louder during rush hour, until it sounded like a river or a stream, and it felt like we were swimming, but it wasn't just a dream. We were just happy. Damn! Oh man, I love it. I love it. I'll read one called Past the Bushes, Cypress Thriving. I saw you in the mirror. You were wearing your hair differently, carrying the air differently. You say you want your hair long, parted in the middle, long in solidarity, worn for all his women. Long Beach, aimless, your fingers wiping oil on the paper with precision. Ah, I know why I folded this down now. With precision, with decision, like an artist never seen yet with a vision. With a reason, started with venom at the ceiling, not the grass, but straight ahead, just at the skyline, with precision, laser vision. Okay, I won't read all this poem. Now I remember why I folded the page down on this one. It was because I wonder what the general consensus is using sort of text speech now, text language. For example, in this poem, let me see if it focuses. In this poem, instead of saying with, it's just a W. You've got a nice big close-up of my mug there. It's not focusing, I don't think, but where my thumb is, instead of with, it's a W. And here, instead of Y-O-U, it's just U. Apart from at the end of the poem where she actually spells you twice, which is obviously for a reason. And you can analyse it as you please and decide why she's done that. But yeah, I would have thought coming across a collection that does this, such as with Gabby Hanna's, using text messaging speech, would put me off. But I guess because this collection, again with the haikus and the space on the paper, I guess because this collection is filled with so many good poems, and it's so well thought out and so well designed and everything, that you can kind of forgive it. And because you know that she knows how to write poetry, that she's doing it for a reason, and I kind of think it works. It's cool, you know, we're moving into a new era, we're new generation, and it works. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and analyse all of her poems for you, because that's for you to do yourself and come up with yourself. Would I recommend this book? 100%. Like, order it right now. I'll leave a link for it in the description or in the pinned comment. It's very well done, very well written, very well formatted and designed. My new favourite collection. I read it from cover to cover last night. And so, to close, I'm going to read one of my favourite poems that isn't Sport Cruiser, but another very good one. But before I do that and read the final poem, one of my favourites, I just want to guide your eyes to this t-shirt. I did shrink it in the wash, so it's a bit tight, but it is one of the t-shirts that I am selling as merch. Please, if you do enjoy my content and want to support me, I will leave a link in the description below. It is a picture of me taken by my best friend Bruno, and one of my poems, Poet in the Long Dark Coat. It's obviously a picture of me in my long dark coat. Yes, so if you want to support the channel, please head to my online shop and my merch store. Leave a like, please subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know exactly when I post. If my merch or my books which I haven't got out at the moment. Don't interest you, I do have a tip jar, which will be linked in the description below. So without any further ado, here is Never to Heaven by Lana Del Rey, and I will see you next week. May my eyes always stay level to the horizon. May they never gaze as high as heaven, to ask why. May I never go where angels fear to tread, so as to have to ask for answers in the sky. The whys in this lifetime I found are inconsequential, compared to the magic of the nowness, the solution to most questions. There are no reasons, and if there are, I'm wrong. But at least I won't have spent my life waiting, looking for God in the clouds of the dawn, or listening out for otherworldly contact 30 billion light years on. No, I'll let the others do the pondering, while I'll be sitting on the lawn, reading something unsubstantial with the television on. I'll be up early to rise, though of course, but only to make you a pot of coffee. That's what I was thinking this morning, Joe. That it's times like this as the marine layer lifts off the sea from the view of our favourite restaurant, that I pray that I may always keep my eyes level to your eyeline, never downcast at the tablecloth. Yes, Joe, it's times like this as the marine layer lifts off the sea on the dock with the candle lit, that I think to myself, there are things you still don't know about me, like sometimes I'm afraid my sadness is too big, and that one day you might have to help me handle it. But until then, may I always keep my eyes level to this skyline, assessing the glittering new development off of the coast of Long Beach. Never to heaven or revenant, because I have faith in man, as strange as that seems in times like these. And it's not just because of the warmth I've found in your brown eyes, but because I believe in the goodness in me, that it's firm enough to plant a flag in, or a rosebud, or to build a new life.